Hey everybody, this is Peter, and in this video segment we're going to install and configure BlueCoat's K9 web protection. Now before we actually get into this, I just want to point out basically what it is. Most people know BlueCoat as a vendor that provides URL filtering and content filtering and so on for enterprises. A lot of people don't know though that BlueCoat has this free little tool that they allow anybody to download that basically does URL filtering, spyware protection, and so on for your home PC. Now the best thing that I like about this, one, is obviously it's free. Two, it actually does a really good job of URL filtering, especially if you have kids at home, which I do, and I know a lot of other people do, and they want to make sure that their kids are protected when they're surfing online and so on. So the nice part is that you can do that with this tool for free without having to set up, as techs usually do for their kids, set up, network of things to actually block them from seeing certain things on the internet. So first thing, let's go get it, right? It's a small tool, so I'll show you where to get it. It's getk9.com, okay, and you have to go and fill out all the appropriate information. You go to the download tab, fill out your name, first and last name, your email, and verify your email, and how did you hear about us? Little drop down, and you request a license. Essentially what that does is it allows you to it allows BlueCoat themselves to actually email you the license that you plug in after the install. So go ahead, we'll click request license, and it's going to send us one to peter@theacademy.ca. So we'll bring up our email. You'll see there the actual link that I showed you. I just actually didn't want you to see me going into my webmail, but it actually gives you a link in your email so that when you click on it, it brings you to this page, and it gives you the link to actually download the product. And then you'll see in step 2 there we have the license that begins with K. So we'll go ahead and download the product and plug the license in when we install it. We'll download for XP, and we'll go ahead and run it from where it's actually being downloaded. So next, I agree, what directory you're going to put it in, install. Then you have to actually go get the license key. Let's copy and paste that license key. We'll paste that in, we'll go next. We'll type in a password, so you can basically protect the actual console itself with a password so that your kids actually don't get in and try and subvert the URL filtering by allowing them to get around it. So next, you got to reboot. I'm going to manually reboot later and then actually let that happen and obviously not have you guys sit through that. So the system's been rebooted. There's the console. It gives you a desktop icon. Okay, so there's the actual console there when you double click on the icon on the desktop. It brings up this nice pretty console for you. You can see you've got view internet activity set up and so on and so on. By default, nothing's really enabled. So we're going to go in there and actually log on. So we'll go into setup. It obviously allows, we have to plug in our administrator password that we defined during the install, and you'll see your default protect against adult content, security threats, illegal activity, sexually related sites, and so on. So now that we have that on, why don't we just try and get somewhere that we shouldn't. YouTube.com. You'll see category blocked. The site you tried to visit belongs to a specific category. We're going to try Facebook.com. Okay, that category is also blocked. So some people are not as strict, I guess, on their browsing habits, whether it's their spouses or their children or whoever you're installing this for, and will allow something like Facebook or allow something like YouTube. So you can actually click on that specific category there and then actually plug in those as exceptions. But you'll see when we look at view internet activity, it actually shows us the websites that people were trying to get to and so on. So let's go into exceptions. And let's put in a site to always allow. So we can keep our default filter on for all the other nasty stuff out there. And we'll add Facebook in because we don't mind that, people are going to Facebook. Let's go ahead and type Facebook in. As you can see now, we can go to Facebook. Okay, but we are getting things stripped out of the Facebook site as well. Let's go back into setup here and actually look at the details of the actual category and where it's actually blocking things. You'll see we can actually turn on bark when blocked. So you can save those changes and actually go to a site that is supposed to be blocked, and the site will actually, or the program will actually bark when someone goes there. We can look for URL keywords to block. You know, you can basically do whatever you pretty much want with it. It's kind of a full-blown URL type filter for you for free for your local PC. It's actually really good. You can actually put in time restrictions too. So you might want to have a time restriction when your kids can actually go on Facebook, right? You can say, okay, you know, your children get home, they have to do their homework before they can get on specific sites. So they know from X time to Y time they can't get there. So, you know, maybe persuade them to do their homework in order to actually get on the internet to the sites they actually want to get on. You can actually go, now we're going to click on monitor, save changes. You can monitor activity. So that's actually a good thing to do, just to see basically where certain people are going without blocking them and making them aware. So you can see, okay, yeah, YouTube's allowed, but if we go back into Canine Web Protection, we do a refresh, now social networking there is not red anymore as it's being blocked, it's actually just being monitored. So it actually shows us, yeah, we're monitoring it, it's not red because it hasn't been blocked, but this is what's happening. And then, like you can see right now, we can actually go to custom and customize a policy. Like if you want to go in there and say, you know, X is blocked, Y is blocked, Z is blocked, whatever it may be, but all the other stuff is cool, you can do that as well. So you can get pretty detailed and granular on the actual things you do with the product. So that's pretty much it for this product, guys. A nice and easy one, but I thought, you know, many people would want to see it and might want to start utilizing it. Anyway, thanks guys, thanks for coming out, and